The former president Donald Trump's civil fraud trial has concluded its second day, with the most interesting moment coming when Judge Engoron issued a limited gag order on the former president. This after former President Trump made a now-deleted post on Truth Social about the judge's clerk. The judge saying that, quote, personal attacks on members of my court staff are unacceptable, inappropriate, and I will not tolerate them under any circumstances. Sean Spicer, let's bring him in, of course, former press secretary to Donald Trump. Sean, this was the president, former president, day two there in the courthouse. I find it interesting that he doesn't have to be there, but clearly the former president is figuring out he needs to go on the offensive, go on the attack, to the point where the judge said, whoa, you got to slow it down just a little bit.
You know, the funny thing is the judge issued that gag order that you just mentioned, but I think this is the first day in like 7 years where Donald Trump hasn't been the loudest voice in the room. This motion to vacate the speaker has taken all the oxygen out of the room. I think that's the first time he's ever had to compete for a headline. And it actually overwhelmed him today. So ironically, I'm not sure that we're going to get the attention it deserves today. But on this issue specifically, I'll be interested to see what he follows and what he doesn't. I mean, I'm not sure a gag order really matters to him that much.
What, do you think, let's, just because you brought it up, do you think Donald Trump is going to insert himself in this speakership race? Or does he just sit back
I think he's going to sit back and wait for a minute to see where things are. He sat back for a while in the McCarthy race. I think he feels very burned, listening to a lot of folks about who to support in the last two cycles. So I don't see him necessarily rushing. But the bigger issue is, and you know, your interview there with Congressman Burchett showed that what an embarrassment this was. They have no strategy. There's no plan B. This was truly an embarrassment. So I don't think Trump or anyone else is going to weigh in until there's a name moving forward. Right now, the only one that I think, you know, is possible is McCarthy try to assuage, as you just mentioned, someone like a Tim Burchett and dial this back. But we'll see in the next 24 hours if a name emerges. But right now, there is nothing. I mean, that's what the embarrassing part about this is.
Hey, Sean, before we go back to this trial and the strategy of the former president, how do you think, what is his strategy going forward? I mean, he obviously has these 4 other trials and is assuming that he's going to be on the top of the ticket for Republicans now, this civil case, and he's put himself out front and center. As you sit back and sort of read the lay of the land for the former president, what's the strategy here as you see it?
So there's 2 pieces to the strategy. One is the communication strategy, the political strategy. How do you take advantage of these? And I think he's done a really good job. The polls reflect that. He's gotten people on his side. The judge valuing Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. Again, it just brings common sense people to his side that might not even have agreed with him. You can hate Donald Trump and say there's no way that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million. That just doesn't pass the smell test. A simple Zillow search undermines that. Then the judge ruling last night about the statute, or at least acknowledging the statute of limitations is probably a better way to put that, shows that this really was a political vendetta that Tish James was after him. He has really weaponized each of these cases and said, look at the facts. In so many cases, they went one step too far. You saw it in the Alvin Bragg case, in the RICO use of the RICO statute in Georgia. Each time they go too far, it rallies political people to his side. Trump is worried about the messaging and the political, and then I think, frankly, he's leaving it up to the lawyers to worry about the legal strategy.
Lauder.
No, absolutely agree. I think that's a great. Hey, Sean, interesting. Do you think that the former president should? Are we with Sean still?
Yeah, bring him up.
Okay.
Sean.
Do you think he should sit in court every day?
This is the first time that Mark Lauder's been able to question me like Jim Acosta.
I took it easy on you.
Look, no follow-up. I think that for right now, you know, it serves a purpose. It gets him there. It allows, from a legal standpoint, the lawyers to ask him questions about certain historical things, potentially between breaks. So I think it does make sense. My understanding is this thing could go on for weeks. I think at a certain point, is this the highest and best use of his time? I don't think so. But today, look, part of this goes back to why is he there? Blake asked the question. He doesn't have to be there. Part of it is because he gets the media attention. He gets the microphone. He gets to walk out, plead his case, make his messaging points. But if he's competing as he is today and probably tomorrow and the next day about whether there's a Speaker of the House, number 3 in succession to the president, then I don't know that it's worth his time because he's not going to get the attention he would if this was a slow news day.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.